Fascinating. So there's so many different variations of that. The ones that come to mind right now are number one, financial, number two, decision making, and number three, God, for lack of a better way to put it, the blame game. So the finance one is tough, right? Even in small businesses, the concept of budget is fuzzy. Our larger clients know, for example, much like the federal government, if you will, if they don't spend what their budget was last year, it'll become obvious to the budgeting committee that they didn't need that much, therefore they'll have less the following year. And cycles don't always work that way in IT, so for them it's a real challenge. They may have already spent the budget because they want to make sure that they've not underutilized it lest they get shorted, and yet here's a new problem that has to be addressed because regulatory or compliance issues or staff changes or market changes. So that's the budgeting challenge. It's true all the way to the small businesses. The feedback we get always in the small business, what did somebody say to me recently? Do we have a budget? Yeah, whatever the heck the owner decides to do or not do on any given day. I'm like, well, yeah, okay, there's a lot of truth in that too. So yeah, budget is one challenge. Other challenge we encounter is the frustration aspect, not knowing how to make a decision. The guy who's in charge, whether it's the owner of the small business that we're interacting with, or the IT manager in a medium-sized business, or CIO, or just an IT, mid-level person in one of the larger companies that we deal with, you're supposed to know the details of the question you're asking. You're supposed to be an expert, but this is IT. What you knew 2 years ago is nearly irrelevant today, but you've just been tasked, or the job is that you have to go out and make a right decision. Okay, who do you get the information from? Obviously from everybody who's trying to sell stuff to you. So there's an absolute distrust, and understandable distrust, because you're asking the questions of the people whose job is to sell you something. So I think that decision-making frustration is very present, and it's not one that gets talked about as much as it should because of the very root of that problem itself. So that becomes easier for us with our clients who appreciate and understand, hey, we will literally give you the link to where to go buy this somewhere else, but we want to help you understand what you need to know to be able to make the decisions. We're here to be the support team that makes sure it gets done. We'll sell to you if you want to. To be blunt, there's not a whole lot of money in selling stuff to people anymore. So, but that's one of their bigger challenges. And then the last challenge that we see a lot is again what I'm going to call the blame game. It's another one that you got to hold in the background. It's one that you can't talk about too much. You have to, how's it supposed to work? When we know that somebody did something wrong, we're supposed to speak nicely of them anyway, and even if we have to let them go, we say nice things of them. So, but the blame game. Everybody wants to know, number one, whose fault it was, and or what product caused it, and or who made the damn decision that caused this situation in the first place. And that's something that we really struggle with because it gets in the way for us. We don't care. We just need to fix the problem. But we understand too that it's important, right? So sometimes it's as simple as the guy who we report to was at the root of the problem. And that's hard. Then we don't care, but he cares, or she cares. Absolute worst case for us, the blame game becomes we're here in case it's your fault and somebody's got to get fired. You fire us. Don't like it, but that's the way it works. But helping to sift through the blame game and focus on the problem, resolve the problem, leave the politics to the politicians so those are probably the three biggest challenges we see.